Let's start. Okay, today we're going to talk about the NBA so far and how each team has been doing as of the before the November 11th games. Saturday, November 11th games. I'll do the odds in the East. He'll do the odds in the West, and we'll flip-flop for that. So, the one seed in the East, the Philadelphia 76ers have been insane so far. But again, it's Joel Embiid has never shown anything in the playoffs. He's shown things in the first round, but once they get to the second round, they don't do good. So the Boston Celtics.
The Boston Celtics, they're 6-2 so far. They're just continuing to gel and mesh and learn from one another as to how to operate uh, their team in the best way. As the season goes on, I feel that they'll just get stronger and more full and complete team that'll work and grow off one another.
The Indiana Pacers. So the Indiana Pacers only have three losses, and they were two good teams. And they only had one win against a good team, and it's the Bucks. And the Pacers defense has been non-existent, but their offense has definitely been existent. Again, they've only had one good win. The other five are against subpar, mediocre, terrible teams. So yeah.
The Hawks are surprisingly only 5-3, and they're doing that with Trae Young having so far his worst shooting percentage wise year of his career. But Jalen Johnson and DeAndre Hunter have provided some decent uh, role points, both averaging about 15 points at the moment. If Trae Young can get back on track in terms of his regular shooting percentages, they should be able to keep their current form and continue to have a pretty good record. And I'd say if they keep up like this and Trae Young will transform, they won't have to worry about being a play-in team like they did last year.
And the year before when they beat the Cavs. It got blown out by the
Okay.
okay. Hey, the Milwaukee Bucks are not a great team. I've they didn't improve. I honestly think they didn't improve in the offseason. I think they downgraded because they didn't need offense. They needed more. They needed defense. Did you see them against Jimmy Butler or in the playoffs? They were non-existent on the defensive end. Like that series would have potentially only went four if Tyler Hero did not get hurt. That's all I have to say about the Bucks. Drew Holiday was a better fit for the Bucks than Damian Lillard. The New York Knicks.
The New York Knicks, they are 4-4. They've been an average team. Their offensive output is down. Julius Randle has looked awful offensively, shooting just under 32% from the field and just under 26 from three. If they want to be serious and at least make it to the second round, or at this point, hopefully not be a play-in team, Julius Randle needs to pick up the slack and at least shoot like maybe 40%. He doesn't have to be as good as he had been in the past, but certainly if he doesn't step up or somebody doesn't step up and replace his points, they'll have a worse year than last year.
Yeah, I get it. The Miami Heat. So the Miami Heat is an interesting team. The reason I say that is because you never know. Like Tyler Hero just got injured a few days ago and he's out for a few weeks. So the Heat's offense is going to go down a decent bit. But if you watch those playoffs, Tyler Hero wasn't really needed until game five of the Boston Celtics series. Like the Heat, it should have won that series in five, and they just needed more offense. So I don't know and the Heat's defense, Bam is insane. He has been ridiculously insane this season. I think right now he would be the defensive player of the year only if the team was a higher in the standings.
The Toronto Raptors, uh, they did see the departure of Fred VanVleet in the offseason, but Dennis Schroeder so far has been able to facilitate pretty well in his absence, and Scotty Barnes so far has made a leap forward offensively, uh, averaging over 38% from three, while shooting over five threes a game and a 48% shooting percentage. The
Yeah.
Raptors are a young team, uh, so they will have their growing pains. If Pascal Siakam is able to improve his game, or at least maybe shoot some more threes uh, effectively to push out the defenders. And they've done this without major contributions from their lottery pick, Grady Dick. He's only playing 14.1 minutes and only just over 3 points a game, but his shooting splits are not that good as well. So it's kind of interesting to see just the low playing time so far for Grady Dick.
The Orlando Magic is an up and coming team. Like if you look at their splits between home and away, they're practically the only thing that's like their their wins are identical, but their every other stat is not. Like they need to get better on the road. Like they in theory should not be 2-2 on the road. They should be like like either 0-4 or 1-3. But again, they're a learning team, up and coming team, and yeah, they're just not ready for the big boy basketball.
The
We're gonna
Brooklyn Nets. I thought to begin the season that Michael Bridges was going to be the number one option. So for this season it has been Cam Thomas. Mm, but he is shooting better than Michael Bridges at the moment, and he is getting to the line at about two more times per game than Michael Bridges. If they are able to stay competitive, uh, get like Cameron Johnson back, or was he out for the season?
do.
Oh no,
Cameron
he
John.
just played yesterday.
Oh
He
yeah, he
just
played
played yesterday.
yesterday.
So they just got Cameron Johnson back from injury. Getting him back to playing speed and acclimated will definitely help their team. go and compete at a higher level.
The Charlotte Bobcats. I meant Hornets. Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo Ball's been struggling. And he's been struggling, and they're still 3-5. The Charlotte Hornets is an up, I believe, is an up and coming team, but they really need LaMelo Ball to do better. And Brandon Miller is doing okay. He's doing better than Scoot is, but he just needs to do a little better or to be able to make the plan like a few years ago and not get blown out
The
again.
Cleveland, oh, sorry,
You could go.
the Cleveland Cavaliers so far this season has been a disappointment, I would say. Uh, the only player that has, in my opinion, played better than I expected is, well, two, I would say, Max Strus and Karis LeVert. Other than that, uh, the other players are playing at a slightly worse clip than last year. And we did have Darius Garland out for 3 games, and Jared Allen missed the first 5 games. Uh, the Cavs just need to step it up and do better. Uh, they're a way better team than this, but we'll see what is going to happen over the season. And this is the pivotal season for the Cavaliers, as
Donovan
they're hoping
Mitchell
to
might
extend Donovan.
request out.
That is why I say it's a critical year, as in they want to do as well as they can, be at least top three in the East, which they are more than capable of. Whether or not they will have that level of play throughout the whole season is yet to be seen.
The Chicago Bulls, they're tanking. They're tanking. Their points per game, all their stats are are below average. They're just not a good team. Players are gonna start asking out. That's all I have to say about the Chicago Bulls. They've been terrible.
The Washington Wizards,
I have one thing to
possibly the
say
worst
about
team.
I have one thing to say about the Washington Wizards. They almost came back from 25 points with 6 minutes left against the Heat. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, other than that, they have been pretty awful.
Yeah.
There's really nothing to say than that. They were hoping Jordan Poole was going to come in and shoot well. He has not. Kyle Kuzma has done decent, but you're going to need more than Kyle Kuzma if you're going to want to compete, especially with how good the top teams are now in both of the conferences.
Yep.
So they're just trying to tank
Yeah.
and hope whatever piece that they're able to get for high draft pick will be able to complement well with Kuzma and Poole in the future.
Yeah. The Detroit Pistons. I have one thing to say. Actually, two things. There, I when I watched the first game, they went toe and toe against the Eastern Conference champions. With 7 minutes left in the game, they were down by 19 and they led. At the end of the game, it was only a 1 point game. It's they're on a 7 game losing streak right now. They've been horrible, other than game one, pretty much. The Heat, yes, the Heat are keep blowing big leads, but we're still coming up on top. That's all I have to say. The Denver Nuggets.
I thought I was the Denver Nuggets.
I know. I was telling you it's your turn.
The Denver Nuggets have continued their dominance, carrying over from last year's championship. The world champions look to repeat again. Uh, we'll have to see what happens with Jamal Murray, uh, who's going to be likely gone for the rest of November with a hamstring issue. But they have the pieces around them with Porter Jr., Gordon, to be able to kind of help lessen the load that Nikola Jokic will have to take to uh, elevate the team and keep them playing at a high level and keep winning basketball games.
The Dallas Mavericks has surprised me because at the end of the last year, there with Kyrie Irving, they were absolutely horrific. Them being 7-2.
Booty,
Them being 7-2. Is insane to me. Maybe it's that Luca got engaged. Maybe that helped them out. They've been shooting
but
incredible. You can go now.
Minnesota Timberwolves. I knew that they were going to be a decent team. I didn't think that so far that they were going to be this good. I thought that they were really going to be hampered because of Rudy Gobert, but Anthony Edwards is really taking off. Just continued to improve his game off of where we saw last year. He's going to be an all-star, quite possibly an all-NBA candidate. Uh, uh, see what goes on the rest of the season. If everybody's able to stay healthy and if they're able to continue this level of play, do have a seasoned veteran in Mike Conley that has playoff success and has been in the West a long time. So he definitely knows how to go about things in a professional and competitive manner.
Yeah, they are the only team to beat the Denver Nuggets so far. The Golden State Warriors, like they are the definition of class. They, in the last decade, they've won 4 NBA championships, 6 times in
Oh,
the NBA finals. Should be
gross.
6. They should be 6-0 in the NBA finals. And
No,
but this season, them getting rid of Jordan Poole really helped them. I can tell. They look like their chemistry is back to what it was. The Houston Rockets.
the Houston Rockets have been surprising to me so far this season. Coming in with a 5-3 record, last night beating a competitive Pelicans team. Uh, but they didn't have, and they did have Zion Williamson play. They had a healthy Zion Williamson play. Uh, so far offensively, they have been a very uh, balanced attack.
Fred VanVleet hasn't been great.
Hasn't been great, but he is averaging 8.4 assists. Like, but like looking at their stats right now, what surprised me is Dylan Brooks is shooting.
Yeah.
He's shooting 55% from three. Last year he shot 32. The year before that, it was 30%. Uh, this is likely not going to be kept up, but we will see. I think that the Rockets are playing over their heads at the moment. and will most likely be coming crashing back to Earth sometime soon. They do have lots of young talent, and in the coming years, I think will be a threat to do some damage in the playoffs. Uh, but this year is all about learning and getting better.
OKC Thunder have been rocky. There's been two games. I've watched some of their games. The two games that worry me the most is only beating the Cavs by 3 and getting blown out by the Denver Nuggets. Like, if they want to be completely competitive, they have to not get not only win by 3 against a terrible Cavs team and getting they need to come closer against the Denver Nuggets. What I have to say about the OKC Thunder. Their defense has been rocky because they can't get rebounds.
Sacramento Kings. Their season has been hampered so far due to the injury to the Aaron Fox. We haven't seen him since the 29th of October. Uh, so look to see who kind of steps up in his place. Um, we haven't so far really seen that offensive jump from Keegan Murray that I thought we would see. This is still a really good team. They just need to be completely healthy to be able to, or at least completely healthy with uh, their top players being De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. Also having Murray and Barnes and Herter uh, wouldn't help. I mean, wouldn't hurt either. If they get healthy, I feel they'll just rise in the standings. Maybe end up around 4 or 5, maybe even be the third
Three.
seed.
Oh, like they were last season.
Yeah. No, yeah, like the third seed,
They were the
they were
third
last
seed.
season. Maybe even, yeah, or even the second seed.
The
And
Los
they were,
Angeles. Oh, were you not done?
I was going to say that they were 1 win away from going to the second round last year.
Yeah. The Los Angeles Lakers. They're a bunch of crybabies. They've always have been. Ever since they got LeBron, they've been complaining. And I believe Anthony Davis is out for a little bit after him getting injured against the Miami Heat. I don't think he played last night against the Phoenix Suns. I don't think he did. Oh, he did, but he shot terribly. It was like he never existed anyway. But their offense and defense have been non-existent. Like one day they'll score 120 points, and the next they'll score 80. It's been like that all season. It pretty much goes win, loss, or loss, win for them.
The Phoenix Suns, they're 4-5, but that would be due to
Them not
them only
seeing.
having, well, Devin Booker has only played 2 games, and yesterday
Bradley
was
Beal.
Bradley Beal.
Oh, he played yesterday?
Yeah, his first game was on Wednesday.
I didn't even know he played. Oh,
So
yeah, he did.
they need to, with the way that their team is structured, they need all three of those men out there to be the elite team that is looking to get their first championship, which they can do, but they must be healthy. They don't really have that elite depth or just deep depth that will keep them in games. They need their starters and their star players to pretty much constantly be out there to keep things a game.
The New Orleans Pelicans. They were doing good, and now they are on a 4 game losing streak. They just need to uh, get back to what they were doing. I think they're doing too much right now. I just think that they just calm down and yes, a 4 game losing streak happened, but they just need to stay focused. Their offense has dipped so far since. So yeah.
The Los Angeles Clippers are coming in at
3-5.
3-4 in the season. Uh, both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard have shockingly played all 8 games, uh, along with Russell Westbrook. James Harden has not looked good in the 3 games that he has played. All losses uh, for the Los Angeles Clippers. With what they gave up and uh, the star heavy team that they are, they need Harden to be Harden again. Uh, I know his shooting splits are decent, but they need him to have a bigger role. They can't have him just sit back and not try to facilitate and create offense.
Yeah. It's the Portland Trailblazers. Scoot has been otherworldly terrible. Like a player that I think the Portland Trailblazers would need right now. Oh, they need a guy that knows how to put the ball in the rim. DeAndre Ayton has not been good at it. His name is Tyler Hero. They really needed Tyler Hero right now. So yeah, San Antonio Spurs.
The Spurs, this is just a learning year, a year for them to get uh, just experience, just to kind of develop Wembanyama, see how he will play, and then record us, respond accordingly in the offseason, fitting him with players that will best suit his playing style and help elevate the team uh, to at least a playoff team. But that is not this year.
Yep. The Utah Jazz. I could speak on this because right now I live in Utah. They they have been terrible. Laurie Marketing has been otherworldly terrible. And they're just right now, they just need the guy. And Laurie Markinson does not look like him. Okay.
Memphis Grizzlies, dang, they have been atrocious.
Maybe if a guy didn't want to shoot guns, they wouldn't be.
Yeah, yeah. If one of the safer people in this world didn't feel the need to be irresponsible with firearms, they would be in a
Better.
very much different situation. But
Yeah.
uh, we're thinking that we're going to see Marcus Smart kind of take over, like not be like a great player, but at least lead the offense because he has plenty of experience on really good teams. And they still do have two all-star caliber players, the reigning defensive player of the year, and they also have
The reigning two
Marksman and
defensive,
Desmond.
the reigning two defensive player of the years,
True, because they have Marcus Smart now, but they have not been that good. They will
especially on the
need to
defensive side.
uh,
Especially on the defensive
not
side.
be
So
Yes.
now we're gonna
Or they
do
will be
our
digging themselves. They might not be able to dig out of once John Morant gets back.
now we're gonna quickly say each of our awards. MVP so far, Joel Embiid. Who do you have for MVP?
MVP, Luka Doncic.
I can see it. Defensive player of the year, Bam.
Defensive player of the year, Evan Mobley.
He's on a non-playoff team right now.
Right now through 8 games.
He's also not been great.
We will this amount of games.
Sixth man of the year. Who's really come off the bench this year?
Could be Chris Paul.
Oh, he's been coming off the bench. I thought he starts at the I thought he starts at the one. And yeah, oh yeah.
He's
He does come off the bench.
averaging over 8 assists a game.
Oh, I didn't even know he came off the bench. Hmm.
I did see one guy that was averaging 16 points per game off the bench. I'd like to say Emmanuel Quickly.
That sounds about right. Coach of the year. I more like calling it new coach of the year. I I, I
Sorry.
think it
Here,
is. Ooh, he used to be the Raptors coach. Now he's on the 76ers.
first,
Nick Nurse, yeah. Nick Nurse right now. Or the Pacers coach right now.
Rick Carlisle,
Yeah.
who
And
is the
so,
champion.
yeah. And that's all that we have to say.
Well, who the Wolves?
What?
Who's the coach of the Timberwolves?
Let me
That's
see.
who I would pick to be coach so far.
Chris Finch.
Chris Finch.
That's all we have to say. Bye bye. Bye bye, folks.